Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. I like how you still managed to screw the head manager over, but help out the assistant manager. Good people still exist. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Stop covering people's shifts, head manager. This is going to be about retail and management. I work at a craft store, so two other coworkers and I kind of formed a Facebook group chat that went from just talking to the place where we ask for our shifts to be covered. There would always be reasons why we can't cover shifts, i.e. last-minute emergencies, being sick, etc. We don't always switch or cover shifts, but when we do, we call the store and inform them beforehand. The thing is that this made things easier for the store managers because they didn't have to call every available employee to see if they can work that shift. Moving on to the story. The head manager, HM, called the three of us into the office. HM, you guys need to stop covering each other's shifts. We can't juggle all the schedule changes we have to fix in the computer, etc., etc. We're all kind of like, okay. Now the thing is that changing it in computers is actually pretty easy, but it's because usually the assistant manager, AM, fixes it, but she was transferred to another store for a week, so HM has been required to do it. But HM doesn't exactly know how to, thus she's complaining. More reason to be malicious is that HM is someone who expects the impossible and is always strict on her rules that aren't rules from corporate. Like, she expects us to finish an entire truck of stocking in 30 minutes max, but we have to open the box, unwrap every individual item, then scan it and find the location it belongs to. Anyways, fast forward 2 weeks later. It's a Thursday, I'm not working, and I'm just sitting at home watching Netflix. My phone starts ringing, and I recognize that it's the store's number. Me. Hello? HM. Hey, OP, someone called in sick tonight, and I was wondering if you could cover the shift. It was my time to shine. Me. No. HM. Why? We can't leave one of the managers with only one cashier. Me. You want me to cover the shift? HM. Yes. Me. You guys need to stop covering each other's shifts. We can't juggle all the schedule changes that we have to fix in the computer, etc., etc. I can't cover the shift because if I do, y'all would need to deal with another schedule change in the computer. HM. But we really need someone to cover the shift. Me. Well, that's not going to be me because we needed to stop covering each other's shifts. I then abruptly hang up. I felt bad for the AM who was the closing manager, so I came into the store a few hours later, but about 30 minutes before the shift, under the pretense that I was buying stuff. She rang me out, and I asked if she still needed someone to cover the shift. She still did, so I said I'd cover it. And our second story. We already left. Just remembered a story that belongs here. In 2009, my girlfriend at the time and I drove from Indianapolis to Cincinnati for Oktoberfest. It's awesome, you should go. Along with a couple of buddies of mine. We parked in a parking garage and went walking about downtown, eating and drinking for a few hours. Eventually, we decided to split up and meet back at the car at 11 p.m. My girlfriend and I get back to the car about 10:50 and wait for my two friends to arrive to head back to Indy. My friend Isaac had to work the next morning, so I figured they'd be right along. When they hadn't returned by 11:15, I tried to call and got no answer. Same thing at 11:30, 11:45, and midnight. It's about a 2-hour ride back to Indy, and I was ready to go. So by 12:15, when they still hadn't returned or even bothered to answer their phones, my girlfriend and I decide to play a prank on them. In this particular parking garage, the levels bisect one another, meaning you can see cars parked on the level above and below you. We decide to move our car up a level, but park so that we can see our original parking spot. Finally, around 12:30, my friends come strolling up the aisleway to meet us. You can see them trying to look for our car, and upon realizing our car isn't parked where it was, panic sets in. Hands on heads, looking around, frantically trying to find us. All the while, my girlfriend and I are snickering in my car, laughing at their misfortune. I see Isaac reach into his phone and pull out the same phone I tried calling no less than 6 times over the past 90 minutes with no response. He calls and I answer. The conversation went a bit like this. Isaac, hey man, we're back at the parking garage, but I can't find you. Me, yeah, that's because we left. Dude, I have to work in the morning. Me, I told you guys to be back here at 11. You never showed up or even answered when I tried calling you. Come on, man. M. Sorry, bro. We're sitting in traffic. We left about 30 minutes ago. You should have been here at 11, or at least answered your phone. I. Gee, idiot. At this point, I hang up and we start honking the horn on the car and yelling at them out the window. The look of relief on their faces was priceless. They get up to our car and give props for not leaving them. We're all still close friends, and they haven't been late to anything involving me ever since. You're a good friend. It'd be unwise to leave a friend in Cincinnati with no ride. Crap gets sketched sometimes. And our next story. You want to be petty? I can play that game and follow the rules. At this moment, I'm on a plane heading to the magical place known as the Atlanta airport. I fly standby a lot, which means I get the worst of the worst or the best of the best. Today was a pretty good day. I got the window exit row, which means I have room. I should mention I'm 5 feet tall. Anyway, in this row, you don't really have a place to store crap. It has to go above you on the shelf or overhead things. So I had already put my smaller bag up there and had my backpack in front of me. The guy on my front left had his bags to the side and his feet under the seat. For context, he had his leg space and the empty leg space from what would be his neighboring seat. It's the exit row's storage seat. While I'm getting situated, he looks and turns to me and says in a smarmy voice, "You know you can't have your bag here, right?" Well, this isn't wrong. The plane wasn't going to take off for around 10 more minutes, and I had time. At this point, he turns to a flight attendant who was walking by and goes, "Her bag's here. Can you tell her bag isn't supposed to be here?" And then he looked at me, my bag, and the attendant who was walking away to do more important things. He had the smuggest, proudest smile I've ever seen, like he single-handedly saved the plane from destruction himself. Naturally, I decided I had to do the right thing and put my bag away, since I obviously couldn't figure that out myself. So I claimed my small area for my backpack, that I should mention was filled to the brim with a week's worth of clothes. So I shoved it in there, which sadly put his stuff in front of him, which sadly left him with no leg room. I stretch and enjoy my leg room as he cramped together. Right before the plane takes off, he asked if we could switch seats because my backpack meant that he had no leg room, which he helpfully explained. I just looked at my bag and declined. If he wasn't a jerk, I probably would have, so no one would be next to me. I value that more than leg space, but F you. Sub-revenge. I actually didn't use the extra space unless I was teasing him. Like I said, I'm short and tend to sit rather cramped out of preference. He gave me looks throughout the flight. Edit. Planes are hard, so here's some more explanation. On a plane seat, you have a small area near your feet. This is the back of the chair in front of you. There's a small gap behind the chair to put items like purses, laptops, duffel bags, and so on. Because of the type of seat the jerk had, he didn't have a seat next to him, and thus there was a spare under the area. This area was technically mine since it was directly in front of me, even with the gap. Jerk put his belongings in this space instead of the area directly in front of him. This left him to have more leg room. I shoved my backpack, which was full, under the spare area in front of me. The backpack stuck out and took up a lot of room. This meant his belongings were now in front of him as well as his foot space. He lost 50% of his room and couldn't stretch due to my bag and couldn't move his things due to the rules of the plane. I'm surprised he even asked. He should have known he'd burn his bridges pretty easily. And our last story. I reported a vegan activist to the police, got her arrested, and facing felony charges now. The incident happened 3 months ago. I was walking my dog and it was a beautiful day. I live in a really nice neighborhood. Most of the people living in the neighborhood are young adults that are really health conscious. There are a lot of restaurants offering a vegan menu, and there's even a vegan bistro that we love. When I was walking my dog in the square, I saw DXE, Direct Action Everywhere, protesting near the park. I thought it was good. I'm not a vegan, but I limit my meat consumption for ethical and health reasons. I was just walking my puppy. A girl, let's call her Karen, asked me, "Hey, beautiful pup, what kind is that?" I said it's Golden Retriever. It's just that he has really light color. I didn't know she was part of the protest. She didn't have any sign and just dressed normally. Karen's next response was, "Oh, so it's a purebred. Do you know that millions of dogs got gassed every year in a shelter?" At this point, I felt uncomfortable and started to just walk away, but she kept following me. So I told her that I know the fact, but chose going through a breeder route because I want specific traits in my dog and I use a reputable breeder. I kept walking, and she said that I was being selfish for going through the breeder route. She asked me what did I give to my dog. I told her none of her business and please leave me alone. Karen started to lose her crap and call me the most selfish person she ever met, and I'm rude, and she started calling me names. I was just going to keep walking away from her. At this point, she yelled at me that I'm slaving my puppy, and then she grabbed the leash, pushed me, and tried to run with my puppy. We're losing it, and he wanted to come to me, so I was able to take back the leash, and my neighbor helped me. He saw and hear everything. It happened so quick. We went to the police car near the location, told them what happened, and Karen was so stupid she kept following me and screaming on how I enslaved my puppy. I explained everything, and the police arrested Karen. The police revoked the DXE protester permit because Karen was part of them, and I felt bad because the other protesters were just doing their thing, and I believe in free speech. When I reported Karen, I was scared, but she might actually go to jail. I got a court date for the case now. I bought my dog for $2,500, so this woman might face felony of the 5th degree, prison term of 6 to 12 months, and a fine no more than $2,500. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.